Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about. All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Ooh, what's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. We are down here, like Betty White in that meme where she's going like this, giving the shimmy. Shout out to Betty White. Shout out to the Golden Girls. Shout out to the Golden Girls. Shout out to the old divas and going into their golden years who are partnering with other women in terms of living situations and living together. I love to hear, I love to see it, and I love to hear it. In this day and age, do you think you can have an all woman complex, women and children, single, child free women, women in femmes, do you believe that there could be a place where you can have like an apartment or tiny home community just of women and children? Um, Couples, your couples, you would have to be two women or femmes in a couple if you want to. If you want, there's no persons identifying as men would be able to live there. That's how I feel. I know a lot of people have their. If you're in my community, if I'm in community with you, you don't have problem with trans women and femmes. So to me, I feel like a space. I told y'all about. There was two clips that were on Instagram. One from Torre, where he was talking to a trans woman, and she was explaining how she doesn't disclose face to face. She discloses online, but face to face, she doesn't disclose right away until she feels safe, which I think is appropriate. But there were so many people in the comments because there's this lie and this myth that men, cis men, are being, quote unquote, tricked by trans women. And we know that that's not happening. We know that that's not happening. We know that the majority of trans women respect their lives to not put their lives in danger by either not disclosing because they don't feel safe with the man. You have to know that this man doesn't have an issue with most men have an issue with women. Okay, I would say 8 out of 10 men have an issue with women. Okay, um, and I'd say out of those 10 men, they are affected by homophobia and transphobia and misogyny and the hatred of the feminine, misogyny. Um, they're not safe. Men are not safe to biological women, biological females, when they reject them, when they reject their advances. We have seen women being pushed on train, railroad, not railroad, subway tracks. We've had women hit in the face with skateboards. We've had women bit in the face by men who reject them. These are biological women. So how do you think a man finding out that a woman is trans before she feels safe and knows that he doesn't have an issue with trans people or the LGBTQIA community? That's where you have to figure out before you disclose, honestly. That's how I feel. I'm not a trans person. I don't know the trans experience, but if I was a trans person and I know the pathology and the mindset and the homophobia and the transphobia that infects the Black community, especially, I would not disclose to any cisgender heterosexual man that I was trans until I felt safe around him. You are not going to get me to put my life at risk just so you can know if I'm trans or not. Until I feel safe around you, then that's when I will tell you. if I feel like our relationship is progressing to where sex is going to be on the table soon, yes, disclose. But I do not support disclosing before it's safe. I don't. Trans girls, trans men out there, let me know how you feel about that. What do you think about that in terms of your safety? You know, even with trans men, a woman could be dating a guy and she not know until he feels comfortable with telling you, because people don't know how people feel about those things. And then some people publicly won't share how they feel about those things, but they're in an intimate exchange with someone, not intimate meaning sex, but we're close, we're becoming closer, and we're sharing things about our lives with each other. I'm telling you, biological, natural born, whatever you want to be called, you don't want to be called cis, so natural born women, biological women are in danger from men, period. So how do you think a trans woman, you don't think she would be in danger, especially knowing how these men feel about women, how they feel about gay people, how they feel about trans people? I'm not saying nothing. I have terminated and dissolved friendships when I find out somebody has an issue with the alphabet mafia or the LGBTQIA community. I have dissolved friendships because of that. I have. And we're cool until I hear some crazy shit coming out. I kind of back off. I back off from you because we're not in community if you feel like that. If you feel like that. And I think a lot of women, um, because black people be homophobic as fuck, right? And also be transphobic, right? Um, because I don't know. I don't agree in disclosing at first sight. These men are so violent. These men are violent, honey. These niggas, when you exchange numbers with them, they call you right away to make sure you gave them the right number, as if they're going to beat you up if you gave them the wrong number. These are the men that they have told you that this is who you should be partnering with, are men. And these men are not safe. They're not safe to biological women. What do you think they're going to be to trans women? Come on, guys, girls, non-binaries. Come on. You have to understand that. Whether you agree or not, you have to understand why a person would not disclose that immediately. It's not safe. These men are unsafe. They are. And y'all so busy trying to domesticate them, but they are unsafe, especially in rejecting them, let alone finding out somebody is trans. And then not only that, the men, and like, they're so preoccupied with distancing themselves from trans people. They have this preoccupation with people not knowing that they are attracted and in love with or like trans women. So they spend their time like Benzino. That's like all he talks about is trans women and trans people, and then want to call trans people transvestites, when that's like, first of all, it's not the proper term. It's an old, outdated um, terminology used. But if you break it down, trans means across, right? And then vestite or vestir in Spanish means to dress. So that means cross dressing. That is a person who dresses as a woman, but not for drag. They just dress as a woman. They're not trans. Transvestite means that you cross dress. That's exactly what it means. That's the literal term. And for him to be on stage calling people transvestites, and then at the same time saying you respect them, you don't respect them. You don't respect them enough to use the proper terminology when referring to this population of people. And you're so preoccupied with distancing yourself from trans women because you are attracted to the performance of womanhood. You are attracted to the performance. The way you show up in society is a performance. Men perform masculinity for other men, and women perform femininity for men and women. And I mean, you perform it. It's a performance. Y'all don't want to admit that you're attracted to the performance of womanhood, to the ultra femininity performance, which a lot of trans girls gives you ultra feminine realness, for real, like ultra feminine. And that femininity, it's no shade, but that femininity that performance of femininity has been constructed by men. The way that women tell women, trans women, all alike, how to perform femininity, those are performances, and how you show up that was designed by men. That's why these femininity channels, they're doing nothing but promoting how men view women, right? So the long nails, the hairs, the titties, the cinch waist, the big ass, the long legs, the long nails, that's all constructed by men. It is. But cisgender heterosexual men, they don't want anyone to know that they're attracted to trans women. That's why they kill them, and you guys are okay with trans women being murdered, because he was tricked. He wasn't tricked. He was just responding to the notion that his community is going to have something to say because he is involved with a trans woman. So their performance, now you're going to be called, quote unquote, gay. I can't have that as a black man in this society. No, I perform hyper masculinity to avoid being mistaken for being gay. We could get into the conversation of trans women who are attracted to cis heterosexual men are heterosexual. They're not gay. This is a woman and a man. That's a heterosexual. So you can be a trans woman who is heterosexual, meaning that you are attracted to men. You're not attracted to women. But in your womanhood, right? Y'all get stuck on the genitalia, when the genitalia just denotes whether you're male or female, and that's it. Everything else is a social construct on how to perform what we say, how women should act and how men should act. And that box is white male hetero. Anything outside of that white male hetero Christian box is deemed alternative. Even your blackness, you don't even realize your blackness makes you queer. But that's a different conversation for another day. You don't fit into that box. There are so many people in the comments. I actually do want to read some of the comments, because first it was Benzino, and he was like, no disrespect. No disrespect. I don't have no disrespect for transvestites. That's the disrespect. You say you speaking in a calm voice and an even keel tone, but you're being very disrespectful because you don't even have the respect enough to refer to this population of people by the right term. I didn't know such and such was a transgender. That's wrong. That's not the correct way. Transgender, trans, but a transgender is like, that's not right. That's not the right construction. You understand? Hold on, let me find this, because this man told me. Can I call you Rose? 'Cause you're sweet like a flower in bloom. Can I call you Rose? Yes. Let me see. Let me find this comment. Because he said, there was a person with no profile picture. They always got the most shit to say. Here we go. Hate the burden of having to talk about my transness on the first or even the second date.
Wow. You would let me take you out twice.
Well, this is ideal.
Right, and not say, just so you know.
If we met out and about, yeah, I'm more likely to hold off longer. Now online, if I'm like on an app or something, I put it in my profiles. Like, I don't play that game.
No, but if I met you at a bar, restaurant, whatever, Raquel's so beautiful, can I take you out? Sure.
It varies, but I'm not gonna be like, can you take me out? Sure. Oh, by the way, I'm trans. Like, I might do that, but I don't feel obligated to do that all the time.
It's interesting that you say you don't feel obligated.
Hate the burden of okay, some of the comments. I said, trans women are murdered and men will lie and say they didn't know when in fact they did. I don't think it's safe to disclose. And let me just expound on that just a little bit more. These niggas lie to you every fucking day. But as soon as they kill a trans woman and tell you they were quote unquote tricked, all of a sudden you believe them. That's the shit that be getting me. All of a sudden you believe these niggas. You believe them because you're transphobic. That's why. Anyway, and you feel like a person deserves death if they lie about what's between their legs, or don't not lie. Let me correct that. If they don't disclose right away what's between their legs. I don't think it's safe to disclose that until you know how this person feels about trans people. What if she finds out he has a deep hatred? She can exit the involvement safely. I think when you feel safe, then and only then. This man said, tell the man up front, don't let him discover after dates and kisses. He gonna hurt you bad. I said, you men are violent, imbalanced human beings who harm biological women for rejecting your advances. You are not safe until we decide you're safe. Period. Men are not safe to be around. Again, y'all been subjected to and trained and conditioned to desire relationships with men, and they are your biggest threat to your life. You guys are violent, imbalanced. Like this other woman, she left this other comment. This woman left a video talking about here.
It's 2024 and it's really grown men out here mad because grown women are doing the things for themselves that they said they weren't going to do for us. Like, y'all stay saying y'all not about to pay all the bills. Okay, cool. We got our own jobs, so now we don't need you to pay all the bills. Fixed it. I'm not buying you no house, not buying you no car, I'm not taking you on no trips, not cash you out, none of that. And we said, okay, cool. Now we buying our own Birkin bags, taking our own trips to Dubai, cashing out because we got careers to provide ourselves with the life that you said y'all weren't going to provide for us. And now that we've like mastered the financial part of it, y'all like, oh, y'all women is too independent. Y'all don't need no man. Not for the financial part, because y'all made it very clear. There's financial shit y'all just not gonna do. So now that we don't need the money, we need other stuff from you. We need you to be emotionally mature. We need you to be reliable, dependable, be a respectful and respectable man, be trustworthy. We need you to be a good leader. But y'all falling short. And instead of saying you falling short, you're just like, oh my God, independent women are the problem. Nah, bro. You just have bad character. because being trustworthy, being an honest and reliable person has everything to do with your character. Nothing to do with the people that you are, the people that you date, and the people that you associate with. That is your character. You're just not a good person to be with. Go find yourself. It's 2024 and it's really great.
Let me know what you think about that, but I'm going to read my comment. I said, you know, I always got something to say. Plot twist. I used to have a blog that said, I used to have a blog and it went away. I lost the server. It went away. It was really good, but it was called She Has an Opinion About Everything. So it's all right. Plot twist. You don't need men. If you want to have one around, nice. But typically they're not nice to have around. But what it really sounds like is that a lot of women are looking for the emotional qualities in men that they are unable to perform. Now, that's on the heels of, shout out to Princella, the Queen Maker, whose theory is men are incapable of love. We live in a society where emotions are correlated with weakness, and that weakness is correlated with, down to the root of it, femininity. So men reject accessing their emotions because it is deemed feminine to access your emotions. Now, the emotional side, the left side, right? Emotions are a human trait. And this is what I explain in my comment. Emotions are a human trait, right? We are made up of both because God is both, all, and none at the same time. So our left side, our cool side, our moon side, our emotional side, the feminine side of our makeup, right? This is the male side, fire, sun side. This is the sun side, right? And that's how we're made up. But when you live in a social construct that says emotions are related to your feminine, and because we live in a society that hates women, we are going to reject that part of ourselves. So now you're dealing with a, shout out to Tyrese, a fragmented and dysfunctional human male, because he has repressed and rejected the cool side of him. And so now he is dysregulated in how he expresses his emotions. And what you are looking for is a man who accepts the feminine aspects of his body and himself. If you're looking for, you don't want these men to be feminine. Y'all like these hyper masculine men who are not in touch with their feminine side. They're hyper masculine. So there's an imbalance, right? If they're imbalanced. And this is what you want to partner with. Someone who is dysfunctional and imbalanced, because he has been taught to reject the feminine emotions, because that equates to him being weak. And how do I show everybody I'm not weak? I exert my power and, quote, perceive dominance over women in violent, aggressive ways. You're imbalanced. Y'all are looking for men who are in touch with their feminine, and men are not socialized to be in touch with their feminine. That's why the quote unquote good men who are balanced are hard to find, because they have been socialized to reject that part of themselves. And you are in the marketplace looking for partnership with imbalanced, grossly imbalanced men. If that's your bag, if you want to be in proximity to them in an intimate way, I wouldn't, because back to the trans conversation, they're not, to me, safe to be around, especially if they're not balanced. So I said this, plot twist. You don't need a man. If you want a man to have around, it's nice to have around, then okay. But typically they're not nice to have around. But what it really sounds like is a lot of women are looking for emotional qualities in men that they are unable to perform. Women are looking for men to act like women emotionally. One day, the women will wake up and realize that the social structures they crave to participate in do not serve them. Sounds like y'all want men to behave like women. And then a woman comes and says, damn, so asking for good character and emotional stability is a female trait? Now listen to the language. Asking for good character and emotional stability is a female trait. I said, not a female trait, but a feminine trait. See, y'all have got to unlearn that femininity is not exclusive to people born with vaginas. That's what you have to unlearn. Number one, masculinity is not for people who are born with penises. Every single thing on this planet has male and female energy in there, masculine and feminine. You see how easy it is to get the language? Masculine and feminine, not male and female. You understand? And that's the reason why y'all want to put people in boxes, because you figure that a person with a penis can only perform masculinity and be dressed a certain way, because that's how you perform and act a certain way, because people with penises can only be masculine. And if you have any tinge of femininity, you are discarded, you are put out, you are called gay, you are all the things. Same with women. You assume that because you were born with a vagina, you can only be feminine. And we know that that's not true. We know that that is not true. We are both. Everything is both. But your society, this fake shit that y'all want to participate in, tells you that as a man, you being in touch with your emotions is feminine. And because we live in a society, a patriarchal society that puts men above women and latently hates women and only sees women as a fucking cow to reproduce and replicate him. That's your only purpose, girl, if you didn't know. So if he exhibits any bit of emotion that is correlated with being feminine, he rejects it and represses it. And then you have explosive, dysregulated men who, if you question anything about being, quote, feminine, they are ready to kill you. That's crazy, but it's real. Not a female trait, but a feminine trait. Emotions are a human trait governed by the feminine aspect of you. We are both masculine and feminine. Feminine side, the cool side, the left side, the moon side. So if you are dealing with a man who rejects the feminine aspects of himself, you are going to have a fragmented, imbalanced man who has no regulation of his emotions, because to them, emotions are weak and feminine. You're trying to get men who have a latent disregard for women and therefore reject their feminine traits to be emotional and softer. You're not going to get that from the majority of men who lean into their socialization. You'd have more luck getting your emotional needs met by another woman who is in touch with her feminine energy. And that's the truth. That is the truth. I told y'all yesterday, all this shit that you're participating in is a lie, teetering on devil worship, teetering on death. Mother reproduces, feminine reproduces, gives birth to. Creative energy is feminine energy. Understand that, because creation happens in the female. Everything outside of that is death. Sorry. Look at how the men are destroying the earth. Look at how the men that run this society are extracting from Mother Earth and siphoning from Mother Earth, raping Mother Earth of her resources. They hate the mother. Your religion removed the mother. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, where's the fucking mama? Hello? Where's the mother? I'll tell you one goddamn thing. We come from the earth and we return to the earth. We come from mother and we return to the mother when it's all said and done. When Father Time catches up with us. That's death. We return to the mother in death. Here's Benzino. Oh, here's this other guy. This other guy is online, a real estate agent. I want y'all to hear what he has to say. Give me 1 second. Let me do something real quick. All right. Let's hear him first, and then I'm going to read some of the comments. Wait, let me go back to the trans woman disclosing comments, because I know I'm kind of all over the place, but it's all correlated. All right. Let's see. Here we are.
Hate the burden of having to talk.
All right. So when you choose not to disclose, you're taking away the person's right to choose for themselves. You cannot make decisions for people. That is how trans women get killed. No, trans women get killed because men know if they're caught with trans women, the community will say, one, that he's gay, and that's like a death wish. You can't, gay is like the furthest thing you want to be from. So I can't have that. So what do? I let everybody know that I am attracted to trans women by killing a trans woman, because that's all you're doing is letting everybody know. You were not tricked. Sorry. You were not tricked. That's for the pre-op girls. If you're not putting it, if you only put it in the butt, what do you think is happening? Girl, I don't even want to get into that, because that is where the things get like, I don't want to be disrespectful, right? Because I know how some trans women feel about their penises, right? Some do not want to even, I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at, I don't want it. I don't want to, nothing about, some are fine. Most are fine, but some are not. They don't even want this, get it all. I don't want this thing. I don't want it. But you're not going to tell me you've been dating a trans woman and fucking her and not know that that's a trans woman. Sorry. That's to me, there's no way that you can, girl, I'm just saying, they lie for everything else, and when they kill trans women, all of a sudden you believe that they were tricked. They were not tricked, girl. She's not obligated to tell him anything. Listen, ma'am, you got to be upfront, sir. That's why. This is this disrespect. She is obligated for her own safety. I hate to say this, but there are men who will become violent as a result of feeling like she hid herself from them and lead them on. I don't want that for her. Here's AJ. Here's a serious question. Why is telling the truth a burden? I said, because the truth to a man who has a deep hatred for trans women could mean her life. The truth could mean her death. So I would rather find out if you're going to kill me or not before I tell you I'm trans. Period. And I don't see nothing wrong with it, and I encourage it and support it. Until I know you are safe, the same way you won't have sex with a man until you know he's safe, is the same reason why the trans girls don't disclose until they know they are safe. Because at the root of it, these niggas are violent to trans women and to cis women. And I'm so sick and tired of cis and trans women arguing, because I know what you're really arguing about is the attention of cis men. That's all y'all be arguing about. That's all y'all have. And I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that because I know how a lot of women feel about trans women. You do not respect them and their identity, and you want to call them men and be disrespectful, use their dead names or use the wrong pronouns. You're being disrespectful and you fucking know it. And I say that at the base and at the root of your intolerance to trans women, your intolerance to bisexual men, because y'all do not like the male human. And that's at the base root of it. If we peel back all the layers, y'all don't fucking like men, but you feel like, oh, I'm heterosexual. I've been trained to be heterosexual. So I'm attracted to these men who are really my greatest threat. As a Black trans woman, you don't have time to waste time, and respect the concept of giving people their own choice is the first thing I say. It's enough with it, so just tell them and go with the flow is my motto. My mama never getting that phone, all that I got off by tricking somebody's son. See, and as I feel like it's irresponsible for trans women who come out and act like other trans women need to disclose on first meet. Hey, if I think you're interested in me, I don't need to tell you that I have a pussy or a dick before I decide what I want to tell you. Until I decide you're safe enough for me to disclose what's between my fucking what's in my private parts. It's private until I know it's safe for you to be included or accepted into my privacy. Girl, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? That's the shit that be getting me. It's irrational. It's irrational. You tell people online, but you don't tell them in person. Right, because you have the safety of being online. That's where the safety is. Being in person is not safe. You didn't see that girl get hit that biological girl get hit in the face with a skateboard when she told the dude she didn't want to give him her phone number? Did you see when that cis woman got pushed on subway tracks after she rejected a man's advances? Did y'all see that or did y'all not see that? These men who get rejected by women, kill them. So what you think they're going to do to trans women when they say they trans and you know these motherfuckers is transphobic and homophobic? What you think is going to happen? I can't risk it until I know you are safe to unlock this private area of my life. It's private. Then I will disclose, and only then. Period. And you see, they only talk about trans women because you don't hear about women killing trans men when they disclose that they're trans men. You don't hear that because men are fucking violent. Now let me go back to this other comment. Now this is this man saying about home ownership, women increasing in this country, home ownership, single women. Listen.
So I read an article today that said the majority of home buyers these days are single women. First things first, women, kudos on that. Very, very proud of you guys. Men, we have to catch up. I have thoughts on why that is, but I would love to know your thoughts too. Personally, as a realtor licensed in Maryland and DC, majority of my clients are actually single women too. So I see that firsthand. What I've seen generally is women tend to be more on it. They tend to be, better established mentally, financially sometimes, to be in the mind state of building wealth through real estate. Men, I have some single men that are clients of mine, but for the most part, it seems to be the women that are on it. Is this what you see? Is this what you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Let's talk about it. I think it's the truth.
Okay. My comment. No, I always got something to say. Y'all see me in the comments. Women have rights. Black women, as little girls, were told to, quote, have your own. Because deep down, everyone knows and has experienced men not being reliable. Not only this illusion that men were providers, when the truth is they never been providers, women just didn't have rights. Black women learned to depend on themselves. And thankfully, more Black women are abandoning the illusion of marriage because they know attaching themselves to Black men will put them in poverty. Statistics support my statement. Black women are just elevating the ways we take care of ourselves. No one has time to be a fully able-bodied adult waiting on anyone to get their shit together. Ladies, keep thriving and rising to the top. Education, entrepreneurship, home ownership. What else? Healthy. What else? What else? What else? And then you look at their report card. F, 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 F. And you're subjecting yourselves to partnering with these group of people and trying to figure out who's the good one. Girl, ain't nobody got time for that shit. Thrive, ladies. Keep going to the top. Keep buying homes. Keep buying investment properties. Keep expanding your portfolio, sis. Stop playing with these. Stop it. Stop it. Because the truth is, if a woman attaches herself to a Black man specifically, her ass is thrusted into poverty. So, honey, enter at your own risk. The Brookings Institute has given us the statistics on women partnering with Black men and how they end up in poverty. Okay? I will put the link to the study and the research in the description, since y'all just think I hate men. But it's the truth. And if the truth is ugly, so be it. Can't slap lipstick on it. Can't give it a BBL. It's the truth, bitch. And it's ugly. And that's the part of understanding and unlearning, is that the truth is ugly about all this shit that we are living in, this fucking PATRIX. I've changed my language from matrix to PATRIX because matrix means mother and PATRIX is father. And we are in a patriarchy. Therefore, we are in a PATRIX. So I've changed my language. I don't use matrix, right? We use matrix because of the film, right? But it's really a PATRIX, 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 patriarchy. That is the system that we have been subjected to live under. When we know the truth, shout out to the great cosmic mother. Shout out to the great cosmic mother telling you the truth. Let's just read an excerpt. Let me go right here. I'm just going to go here. This is where my bookmark is. Okay. My bookmark. It's an oracle card. It says self with the eye in the heart. Okay. For those visually impaired. All right. Men in patriarchal societies learn or reveal a great jealousy and fear of natural women, of the sexual, mental, and spiritual abilities of fully evolved women living in harmony with the consciousness of our own bodies. The menstrual taboo is the consequence of this fear and resentment, as they are projected back on women's lives. Under patriarchy, all life is dualized. Women also are dichotomized, cut in two. There is a good little ovulating wife who is supposed to be passive and not very sexual. It's hard for even a woman to feel sexy cleaning a toilet bowl. And then there is the witch, the sex fiend, whore, scarlet woman, red again, an active dynamic menstrual sexuality. As both female cycles and the wise wound show, there are two poles to women's sexuality. The pole of ovulation, which tends to express itself in terms of wanting to surrender. Its white, clear discharge is called the river of life. and it is acceptable in patriarchy because it is receptive and fertile. And the pole of menstruation, before, during, and after, which expresses itself in wanting to take erotic initiative to capture and demand the red flow, is called the river of death. And its multi-orgasmic and aggressive sexuality is taboo in patriarchy. Our menstrual sexuality, which is non-fertile, is called masculine and castrating by Freudian types who share in the cultural fear of mature women. In early patriarchy and in some contemporary indigenous cultures, they have been colonized by misogynist religions. The menstrual taboo is openly punitive. It codifies sexual hostility in societies where women are treated as currency in men's affairs. Under the menstrual taboos of women were to be punished for our powers, sexual, reproductive, and psychic powers. We were banished to a menstrual hut called unclean and dangerous to man and his laws and his gods. In some tribal communities, we were imprisoned in dark cages or rooms for months, for as long as 3 years, with the first menstruation. In American Indian cultures, on the other hand, the menstruating woman is seen for what she is, a powerful life source. As Daughters of Copper Woman shows, Native American women have worked to keep alive for generations their affirmative and celebratory customs surrounding female puberty, including years of physical training to make women strong in both body and mind. They did this despite constant opposition from Christian missionaries and preachers who always view women's blood customs as, quote, savage and satanic. Underneath the colonizing misogyny of Christianity and Islam, Black African women too have managed to keep alive ancient puberty and menstrual customs, which are energizing for women. I'm reading from the chapter calling Menstrual Rites, Rites and Taboos. Menstruating womb, devil of patriarchy, pregnant woman. Yep. War is men's response to women's ability to give birth and menstruate. All three are blood-shedding rituals. Women's blood rites give life, however, while men's bloody rituals only give death. I think we'll end it on that. So shout out to the girls and the feminine and the people and the women who identify as women and femmes. Shout out to y'all. Anyways, y'all, I think that's it for the day. What y'all think? We make another video. So that's all I have to say. Get the great cosmic mother so you can unlearn the shit that you've been told, the lies that you've been told. Women are buying all the homes. Exactly. Keep buying. Let me read some of the comments before we go. It says women have no choice. Yes, you do. You have a choice not to depend on your greatest threat for protection. You do have a choice, goddammit. Stop playing. Women have no choice. We have a lot further to fall in life than men. If we fail, what awaits us is far worse than what happens to men. We can't be homeless. We can't live alone in just any neighborhood. We have to plan our lives carefully not to make mistakes we can't recover from. If you had a choice, why would you choose to depend on a man? Think about that for a second. The moms kicked all their daughters out of the houses while coddling their sons. Just a theory, okay? Because the girls knew that they had to depend on themselves. Bought my townhome. My husband bought our first house. My townhome is now a rental. When I bought my first home, my child's father said he wasn't going to do anything in the house unless I put his name on the house. You think I'm a motherfucking fool? You think I was a fucking fool? I was dumb for making the choice to procreate with such a low-level human being, yeah. But I wouldn't put him on my house, and he got upset and wouldn't fix anything in the house because his name wasn't on the house. Ain't that some shit? These niggas ain't, when I tell you these niggas ain't shit, they ain't shit. I promise you they ain't shit. My husband and I bought a home And I'm not going to lie, I did all the footwork. He always says he wouldn't have gotten a home if it weren't for me because he simply doesn't have the patience for the process. I just think some men have a tough time following through or just putting attention to detail that's needed. No, they just waiting for you to come in and take over, for you to lead. And then you lie to everybody in your community and tell him he's your leader. Because some fucking book of fables and spells told you that he was higher than you. So you have to depend. What? Just like that other girl said, y'all told us what you weren't going to do financially. So we got the financial game on lock. Y'all told us, y'all telling us education is no, none of everything they telling you that doesn't matter matters. Everything they fucking tell you, just flip it upside down because it does matter. They're lying to you and gaslighting you so that you can depend on them. And they don't have a plan. They don't have no plans for you. They don't have no plans for them fucking selves. Their only plan is to find a woman stupid enough to be a maid, a mule, and a mattress. And a fucking pretzel who believes that a God is a male, he and him. That's what they need y'all to believe in order to accept them. When you eliminate and unlearn all this bullshit, you ain't gonna have time for no nigga shit from no fucking man. You ain't gonna have time for it. You ain't gonna even try to have time for it. I don't have no time for that. That's a waste of time. At this point, it's almost reckless as fuck to wait on a batch of men to grow up and lead the way. The problem is y'all think because they exist as men, they're leaders. That's your problem. And you've seen throughout your life how women have been leading in these relationships. Let's use Martell and Melody. He's the head of household. He's the leader. She's running everything in the fucking back, running everything. She's the one, when it's time to talk, she's the one that gets up and speaks. You know, one thing I fucking hate, I just thought about this. I hate to be in a fucking doctor's office and see a man and a woman filling out the fucking paperwork for the man as if he don't know what the fuck is going on with his own fucking body. I hate to see that. A woman sitting there filling out the paperwork for her husband. Nigga, you fill it out. This is your fucking body and your life. I hate to see that shit. And then you want to run around and tell everybody he's your goddamn head of household and your leader. And you filling out his fucking paperwork at the doctor's office like you at the pediatrician. Girl, now I done got pissed off. Now pissed me off. I'm gonna go roll a little blunt, take a little walk, come back. We might make another video today. I don't know. But y'all ain't gonna run my pressure up like Crystal. I need to talk about Beverly Hills, huh? I didn't even take any notes. Anyways, y'all, let me go. We need to talk about Beverly Hills. I need to watch it again because it was good. Erica was funny. Anyways, let's go. We'll talk about Beverly Hills. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Protect yourself. Stop depending on men. Stop looking for men to get their shit together. Stop it. 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 Stop. Stop it. Okay? Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Center yourself. Prioritize your needs first. These niggas abide by the self-preservation law. You need to do that and learn how to do that yourself. Self-preservation. Anyways, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments.